We've got the new Poco X7 series in the house and there is a lot to talk about here. The X7 Pro succeeds last year's Poco X6 Pro, which was quite a powerhouse in the 20 to 30,000 rupees segment. So, can the X7 Pro with its new Dimensity 8400 Ultra chip recreate the magic? And what about the standard X7? Does it also hold its ground? But before I talk about it, please hit that subscribe button to keep up with the latest in tech. Let's start with the design because honestly, it's interesting to say the least. Usually, smartphones in the same series have some kind of design resemblance, right? But not these two. These two phones could not be more different, whether you're looking at them from the back or from the front. Take the standard Poco X7 for instance. It closely resembles the recently launched Redmi Note 14 Pro. That is because it is essentially the same phone, just dressed in Poco's branding and a different color scheme. The X7 Pro, on the other hand, sports a different design language. It is much flatter compared to the X7. Both models feature a vegan leather back with loud yellow and black color combinations, which is either a love or hate situation for users. But you can opt for subtler colors if you like. If you overlook this big Poco logo, the cheaper X7 actually is the more premium looking smartphones of these two. Its curved front and rear feel great in hand, while the centrally placed camera island looks far better than the Pro's pill-shaped module. Additionally, the X7 has Gorilla Glass Victus 2 protection for its display, whereas the Pro model gets the inferior Gorilla Glass 7i. Go figure out. There is more. The standard X7 has an extra 2 megapixel macro sensor, which is missing on the Pro model. So, aesthetically at least, the Poco X7 Pro surprisingly feels less impressive compared to its more affordable sibling. Thankfully, both phones come with an IP69 rating, which is great to have. Both models also have a reliable optical fingerprint scanner. Moving on, the standard X7 boasts a curved 6.67-inch AMOLED display with a 1.5K resolution and a 120Hz refresh rate. In contrast, the Pro version has a slightly larger 6.73-inch flat panel, which is better suited for gaming. Both panels are Widevine L1 certified and support HDR10+, ensuring a great viewing experience. However, the X7 has a warmer tint to its display. Both panels are bright enough for outdoor use, with the Pro model reaching an HPM brightness of 1400 nits and the standard X7 at 1200 nits. So, since the standard X7 is essentially a rebranded Redmi Note 14 Pro, it is powered by the Dimensity 7300 Ultra chip. It is an efficient mid-range chip, scoring over 6 lakh on AnTuTu. But despite the Ultra in its name, this chipset is not really designed for heavy tasks. The real star, however, is the brand new Dimensity 8400 Ultra in the Poco X7 Pro. Just like its predecessor, this chipset aims to offer flagship-grade performance in the sub 30,000 rupee price segment. Its AnTuTu and Geekbench scores place it somewhere between the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 and 8 Gen 3 in terms of raw performance, which is fantastic for the price. It glides through BGMI at 60 FPS without much issue. There is no support for 90 FPS on BGMI at launch, but Poco claims it's gonna be added soon. Do note that heating was non-existent during gaming, but it is also extremely cold here in Delhi right now, so I'm not sure how it's gonna perform when the environment gets hotter. Anyway, the Poco X7 Pro is generally a snappy phone to use thanks to its UFS 4.0 storage, which means that apps load quite quickly. The standard X7, however, has UFS 2.2 storage and a lower mid-range chip, which results in microstutters across the UI from time to time. The software experience on both models is a mixed bag. The X7 Pro runs the latest HyperOS 2 based on Android 15, while the standard X7 uses the older Android 14 based HyperOS 1. Both phones come loaded with a ton of pre-installed apps, which makes the app drawer feel quite cluttered. On top of that, system app notifications and glance lock screen add to the clutter, making the software experience less streamlined. Poco has also added AI features in the Notes and Gallery apps on the X7 Pro. Look, they have potential, but they could use a little more fine-tuning to deliver the best experience. Now, let's shed some light on the camera capabilities. Both phones feature the same Sony Lydia 600 primary sensor and an 8 megapixel ultra-wide camera. Interestingly, the standard X7 also includes an additional 2 megapixel macro sensor, but it is quite irrelevant in everyday use. Despite having the very same primary sensor, these two smartphones actually end up producing very different photographs, which is likely due to the different ISPs in both chipsets. The X7's photos have a softer look and slightly muted colors, while the Pro's images are sharper but can occasionally feel a bit overprocessed. Videos from the main sensor are suitable for casual social uploads, though they don't pack a lot of fine detail. The 8 megapixel ultra-wide performs well on both devices, though the color profiles may vary between the two. As for selfies, the 20 megapixel front camera shows some differences. The X7 takes the lead here, as the X7 Pro sometimes struggle to properly expose the subject's face. Finally, when it comes to battery and charging, the Poco X7 Pro impresses with its massive 6550 mAh battery thanks to cutting-edge silicon carbon tech. This allows it to stay impressively slim and light. A screen time of around 9 hours with mixed to heavy use is easily achievable on this phone. Plus, with 90-watt fast charging, recharging does not take much time either. The standard Poco X7 has a comparatively smaller but still quite impressive 5500 mAh battery. It supports 45 watts fast charging, which is quite adequate for its segment. Ultimately, neither of these two are great camera phones, nor do they offer an amazing software experience. However, the Poco X7 Pro is quite a deal, and it is totally worth it to stretch your budget a bit over the standard X7. The Pro offers a much more powerful chipset, USB 4 storage, and a significantly bigger battery compared to the standard X7. The standard X7 offers great value at a lower price point. It also looks and feels more premium than the Pro model, but that's about it. So, if you're after flagship grade performance for mid-range money, then the Poco X7 Pro is the way to go.